got the combine going. Damashek calls it the combine, and then he had like a 3-minute explanation, and I tuned out. But what was that about, Spaghetti? Why does he call it the combine? Because it's combining.
One is a gathering of people, and one is farming equipment or a machine used for farming. So that's why he switched it.
All right. I mean, they just made up the word, right, for this kind of thing. So it doesn't really matter. But the 40-yard dash, this is the fun thing, right? When the receivers are running, and 8 wide receivers posted 40-yard dashes under 4.4. And we were talking about this, like maybe this is something you don't want to win. You don't want to be the fastest. Well, now there's a different reason you don't want to be the fastest, because they changed the number on you, and you think you're the king of the world for 3 hours, like Tyquan Thornton, who thought he ran a 4.21. And then what happened, Parlay Kid? It was changed to 4.28. What goes on? Why can't they get an accurate reading? Imagine
makes no sense.
Everything else worked like this. Well, you had to wait 4 hours before you found out.
We've never heard of that.
Yeah.
Right. I wonder if they were just like 4.21 is just impossible. We got to look back
doesn't
at it.
Seem right.
It just doesn't seem right.
On the top. Yeah.
I mean, it makes no sense. I don't know how they get it wrong in this day and age, but that's still a heck of a time, no matter what that. You run a sub 4.3.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Unbelievable.
Yeah, it's a bummer that he didn't break it. But then again, like we talked about it, maybe the fastest, the John Rosses of the world don't get Tavon Austins. They don't get drafted first, right? It almost works against you to be the fastest, to post the best times in a lot of these things. Which drill, Parlay Kid, as a coach, would you say is actually important to drafting an NFL player? We had the question and answer, which is nonsensical. The Megans went through those questions are real. Would you rather be a cat or a dog? If you could kill somebody with a weapon, which would you? And then but these physical things, some of them seem just as ludicrous.
Well, there's a big part of me that says, we got to look beyond this for these players, right? Like we got to go above this. This doesn't tell these measurements don't tell the true, heart and character of a player. But the bottom line is, if you really look how the combine has worked, especially at some of the skill positions like wide receiver and defensive back, a lot of these scores that they get on these tests, on these physical tests, really do translate to their performance at the pro level. For example, over the last 3 years, there's only been a few receivers who have run 4.6 or greater that have had any type of impact in the NFL. Now, a couple of them, Cooper Kupp, Johnson, and there's another 1 or 2 guys in there as well that have seen over 500 snaps over the last 3 years. But for the most part, any receiver running above a 4.6, they have not been effective. And a lot of these guys I just mentioned, Kupp and Johnson, they're slot guys too. They're not really guys on the outside who line up on the outside. So I think to
wide
me,
receiver, 40-yard dash, it does have something to do with it.
40 for the receivers, 40 and like the shuttle run and stuff for D-backs. But I think like when it comes to like offensive linemen, obviously the bench press is probably maybe the most important thing. But I think as a whole, I think these are effective in evaluating talent. I really do.
Really?
I used to think against it and think we got to look further past this and really, because I do think there's probably guys out there, Sal, that don't get drafted or don't ever get a look. And they probably should have, and maybe you got like, look, if Brady was judged on his combine performance,
quarterbacks are a little different though.
Quarterbacks are totally different.
You see a lot of them. You see enough tape on them to know that Kyler Murray's height might not matter.
I think these are a pretty good. These combinations of events are a pretty good indication of what these guys are going to turn out to be.
Well, the problem is there's no event that's going to indicate whether or not your player is going to strip down nude in the middle of a game and walk off, like do calisthenics off the field.
I've always said these guys should be tested in their uniforms. Like you should run 40 in pads.
Right.
You should run a 40 in pads. Like I definitely think, Jerry Rice was always like a 4.5, like they said, but like in pads, his speed was the same. Right, as it was without pads.
What was your fastest 40, Parlay Kid? You were quarterback of our high school, varsity.
I ran a 4.8, Sal, as a senior. But before that, I was slow-footed. I was more like a 5.2. But like I guess
that's
matured.
what Brother John says a lot.
I guess I matured a little bit.
Oh, Harry, you have a time you want to brag about your 40 time?
What did we time Harry at that time? Like 8.6 or something like that?
Yes, we did. Harry did run a 40, right, last year or
Harry's escrow period is shorter than his 40 time. Yeah.
To his defense, he was timing himself while he was running.
Oh, that's right. I forgot he did that. I mean, what was it? It was 6 something, right?
I don't know.
5.8, bro.
No. It was definitely
5.8, my ass.
I think it was closer. I think it was closer to 8, but he was running up a hill and he was also holding his shorts from falling down.
Yeah, he had to catch his breath to look at the watch. He had to. Babyface, do you remember this? This was losing
weight. The shorts are falling down, Bri. Shorts are falling down and losing weight.
I'll find it.
Babyface, you were in it. What happened? Do you remember this at all?
Well, I know Harry just ran a 40 because when he got the house, he ran a 40 credit check. So
I don't know what that means. All right. I think I did 4.92 or something as a senior or something. But I got to say, then we heard that our coaches don't do flying 40s. Our coaches would the flying 40s are it seems like other schools measured you almost get a head start. You'd still start it'd still be a 40-yard dash. But I feel like we heard stories about kids getting a couple steps head start, and they call them flying 40s. So it's measured differently. We didn't get the flying 40s. In fact, I feel like Coach Scudder would even try to trick us on cadence. So we didn't even know when to start.
That is kind of true, right? It was, and you got to remember, now it's so much different for these guys. I think in high school, they're still getting time with the old stopwatch, and it's on your first movement. So a lot of it just depends on, these pro combines, everything should be right to the,
Well, I would say it's different now, but this freaking Tyquan Thornton had to wait hours before he got an actual.
Again, I don't.
Well, they had the same thing for Olave, the receiver from Ohio State. Right. I was watching it live, and he ran a 4.26, and then they came back so much longer later, and they said a 4.39. What a difference! Jeez.
Right? Yeah. What the hell goes on?
He's going to be a cowboy, that kid.
Brian's 10 or 11 years younger than us. Is there any event that you guys want to claim you could beat him in? 40-yard dash, bench press, vertical jump, broad jump, 3-cone drill, shuttle run. Harry.
Maybe the 3-cone.
I was thinking the
Not
3 cones.
ice cream cones.
Maybe.
How many cones, Harry? Sugar cone, snow cone. Harry's not familiar with 3 cones. Harry's I'll do 8 cones. I don't care.
Sal, you would definitely.
Sugar cones.
I feel like, Sal, you would do real. I mean, I don't know. I would probably tear anything. The last time I ran a 40, I retore my hamstring.
Oh, really? I thought for sure you would. No, I don't know.
Retore my.
I
think you would do well in the 3-cone and the shuttle run.
I think my low center of gravity would give me the only chance in the 3-cone.
Still got that
and you're quick.
Yeah.
Quick. For sure.
There we go.
It's kind of a phony quick, though.
And if you guys couldn't beat my vertical leap, that's really bad. I feel like I can't
I was
get
considering
more than 8
that
inches off the ground.
Really, Harry? You think you could beat Brian vertical?
Definitely not. We've seen Harry try and dunk on a 6-foot rim. There's no way.
Vertical is up from the ground up, Harry. That's vertical.
Tomorrow's video I'm gonna do another slam dunk, Brian. I'll get up a little higher.
Yeah.
Nice.
I don't know. Yeah. Parlay Kid, what about you? Any of these 6?
I don't think I would fare well in any of these events now.
Mm-hmm.
If I had time to train for a 40, I think I could do okay.
Interesting.
I think I could still run I think I could run a low 5, if I trained like a 5.1 at this point, or 5. So I don't know. My brother Brian could probably still beat that. Maybe, but
Darren was always fast. I don't know. I would.
Darren had better speed than me from home to home, but home to first as a lefty out of the box.
You probably you were one of the quickest guys home to first. I mean,
that's not 40 yards though. How long is that? That's 60 feet.
Well, in softball, it was
60
feet.
Really?
Was
that's
it
20
60
yards.
feet or 7?
I think
20 yards basically. Yeah, that's why. Yeah, you were quick, very quick.
And then I was done. I was gassed after that. The spaghetti meatballs. I'll put you on the spot before we move on. Who wins bench press out of you guys?
Oh, it's easily Meatballs right now. I got a labrum thing going on that Meatballs is trying to help me with. A labrum thing in my shoulder. But,
is this from fasting?
No, this is a weightlifting injury that I hurt myself in the Bay Club. But he would definitely beat me right now. But we'd both do pretty well in the bench.
All right.
Michael would be a very good combine guy because Michael actually had just a few years ago had a great vertical too. Michael's got even some videos of him doing some vertical jumping.
Interesting.
And his 40, Michael was probably running a 4.8 at one time.
There you go.
Maybe a little lower, maybe a 4.7.
Michael, you want to confirm
am I right
this?
when I say that?
To jump in here, I did run a 4.52 a few years ago.
Oh, come on.
Nice.
I do know that is true.
Wow.
I believe it.
Michael was like he would have been a combine guy type of guy. Like he could do
Myquan Thornton.
All these.
I like it. Holy crap. 4.5. And he is jumping around the office all the time. It's weird working on that vertical. Now I know. All right. Joel Babyface, how do you think that happens?
I don't. It's a lot of. He's got quick hands editing the pics, and
yeah, that must be it.
Harry's sending multiple versions of.
Right.
He passed the eye test. I mean, Michael's great.
That's probably it. All right.